12th of December, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
We're up to the Dibra Maskal Yorad Lahatzil.
Okay, Yored. He went down to save it. Almanat on condition that you should love the May Shalom. On he went down to save it on a condition that he was going to get paid. That he would give him the value of his donkey. You know, he's leaving his donkey to save the other donkey, and I'm only going down on the condition that you're willing to pay me for my donkey. It's like that's the wages I want for saving your donkey.
In going to get his donkey, he's not giving in on the agreement that he made with the person that he's going to be compensated for his donkey. I think that's what Rashi means to say. The fact that he's going to now go ahead and you know what? At that point, he didn't know that his donkey was going to come up in the flood of water. Yored Lahatzil, he's going down to save the donkey of his friend, and he made a stipulation with the person that the person is going the person that owns the other donkey is going to give him the for the value of his donkey, because he's undergoing to save his friend's donkey, and he's not going to save. He's not going to go. He's going down and not in order to save his own donkey. So that's what Rashi's saying over here. At the point that he went down to save, he was doing so. Almanas sheyitem lo demei shalo. It's a bit right. You know, this is Rashi's famous lashon. Who's he that he's talking about? Rashi expects you to understand that that we're talking about the saver that owns the donkey that's worth only a mana is going down to save the donkey which is worth matayim, twice the value, and he's doing so, says Rashi, ayin mem almanas, on condition she lo that he, the owner of the valuable donkey, is going to give to the owner of the less valuable donkey demei shalo, his value of his less valuable donkey. Okay, and then that's, in other words, that's so to speak, stage one of what happened in the story. And then the next thing that happened in the story is Allah shalom me'elav. And what happened was that when he went down to go and save his friend's donkey, his own donkey came up in the flood of water. And now Rashi's got 3 lines over here. Who wants to take this Rashi? Lou, you want this Rashi?
Yeah, which one is it?
V'ola shalom me'elav mahu.
I don't see it.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lines up from the bottom of the Rashi, and it's the second half of the line. It starts with the words Ola Shalom Me'elav.
Mahu. Mi Amrinan Me Ikra de Af Kara Akir Avod to me Umi Chayev Lo Eyach Lo Mi Hadar Day Mare Hafkira O Noma Kavan Ishalik Disalik Salik. So the one who says from the beginning, the Kari, I don't know.
From the word hefker. Me I'm reading. This me I'm reading. The me is it's a interrogative. It's a question. In other words, when you see that word me over here, it's we're saying this is the question of the Gemora when it says mahu. What's the din over here? And Rashi is now bringing the two sides of the question. Me I'm reading. Do we say on the one hand that mi'ikara initially the afkare that he was mafkir, right? He was mafkir. You know what that means? He relinquished his ownership over his own donkey.
Kaved that was lost.
Abu Dami, right?
That he lost the value.
It's regarded as though it's lost, meaning it went lost. It meaning that it's not his anymore.
And he's obligated to him.
Umachayev lo heyach.
Heyach, how is it?
The other one. Heyach is referring to the other one, the other person.
That he will pay the Hadar Zacha for the value.
The Hadar Zachabe Mare Mehefkera.
In a return.
Do we, in other words, let's translate what we got so far. Me, I'm reading, do we say, on the one hand, Rashi is going to speak out two sides of the question, because that's why we have a mahu. A mahu means we got two sides, and we don't know which side is the correct side. So what's the Gemara is asking, what's the din? Rashi is telling us what are the two sides. The first side is, do we say, Meikara the Afkir ki ibudami, from this that he initially relinquished his ownership interest over his own donkey. Ke'ibu dummy, is that regarded as that the donkey is now by him regarded as being lost and not in his possession anymore? Umachayav lo heyach, and that will obligate the other person that owns the more valuable donkey, l'shlume, to pay him for the fact that he was mafkir his own donkey and let it be lost, based upon the stipulation that he made with him, and therefore he's obligated to pay him for it as per the stipulation. And then what happened was v'hadar zachabe, and afterwards that the donkey was basically hefker. He, just like anybody else in the world, can go ahead and come back, return, and be zochabe, and make an acquisition in the donkey. Mare, his previous owner, may have kera from the state that it was of being hefker. So according to this side, what we're saying is we're explaining how it is that the donkey that was retrieved from hefker by its by its owner, who is mafkirit, and that has nothing to do with the obligation of the other person to pay as per the stipulation. He's going to have to pay. So he got his donkey, and he's got to pay him for it also, because that was the stipulation. That's the first side of the question. Oh, or perhaps we say the following.
So in this first side, what are we assuming about the donkey of the other person, the donkey that's worth twice? We assume it gets lost, it dies?
No, we're not talking about the second donkey at all. The whole discussion over here in the question of the Gemora is what's doing with this donkey of the matzil. What's the din of this donkey?
So why does the matzil relinquish ownership of his own donkey?
Because he was going ahead and he made a stipulation with the guy. I'm going to go save your donkey.
Right. So
I'm not going to go save my donkey. I'm going to go save your donkey, and you have to reimburse me for the fact that my donkey is going to be going lost and it's going to drown.
So he infers relinquishing.
So do we say that based upon this stipulation that he made and his action of going down to save the other person's donkey, do we say that what that amounted to is that in regard to his own donkey, he was being mafkirit, he was relinquishing his ownership over the donkey, his own donkey, and that donkey now becomes hefker. It's ke'avud dami. It's regarded as being lost to him. He doesn't own it anymore, and therefore the other person is required to pay him for the fact that he did that. And the fact that afterwards he got it. He was zocha mina hefker. He reacquired it from its state of being ownerless, and that doesn't nullify the other person's obligation to pay him as per the stipulation. That's the first side. In other words, you understand what happened in the story? What happened in the story is that the guy said, "I'm going down to save your donkey, but you have to pay me for my donkey." And he went down and did that. But the Gemora says, what will be the din if his own donkey comes up in the water and he saves his own donkey? What's going to be the din? Meaning, is the one that is the other one going to have to pay him for that donkey in any case, or is he not going to have to pay him for that donkey? That's the question.
There's two donkeys here. Donkey A and donkey B. Donkey A belongs to the man who is not the rescuer. Donkey
Yeah.
belongs to the rescuer. The rescuer says, "I relinquish ownership of donkey B. I'm going to go save donkey A." Now he goes and he saves donkey A, and he returns donkey A to its owner. And now he finds that donkey B didn't die, and he gets donkey B. Is that the scenario?
Yeah, fine.
And so we say that the owner of donkey A has to pay him twice, or has to pay him for the donkey even though he got it back.
Right.
Okay.
That's the first side. Is that what we say? A deal's a deal, and he's got to pay according to the deal that was made, even though at the end of the day the person got his donkey back. Or let's see what the other side is. Oh, or do we say Dilma? Read the last 4 words, if you will.
Kevon, Dilma, Kevon, Salik, Salik.
Yeah.
Or perhaps since that Salik means it was returned.
It came up.
Since it came up.
Yeah.
Meaning,
What's that?
Since you got your donkey back, you don't get any money.
Right? In other words, the whole deal, really, they didn't speak this out. Right? They didn't speak it out. What happens if the donkey comes up and you end up being able to save your donkey? That's really the question of the Gemora.
Why didn't they speak it out? They didn't speak it out because they thought it wasn't going to be possible.
Right? It doesn't really matter why it is that they didn't speak it out. But the point of the point of information, they did not speak it out. So the Gemora is asking, what is there a resolution to this question? Do we have an answer to this question? And the two ways of looking at it are that the first way of looking at it says, look, he was mafker the animal. In going down and saving his friend's animal, he was basically being mafker his own animal. And that was what the agreement called for. And as per that agreement, the other person has to pay him for the fact that he was mafker the animal and allow it to go lost. Aye, but he got it back at the end of the day. Right, he got it back from Hefker. It's like anybody in the world who would have gotten that donkey. He's no different than anybody else in the world that got it from Hefker. What's that have to do with the agreement that they made? They made an agreement that he's going to pay him for the fact that he's relinquishing his interest and ownership over his own donkey. That was the agreement. Is that what he did? Yes, he went down to save this friend's donkey, and thereby he was mafkering his own donkey. So if that's what he did, so the agreement calls for the other guy to reimbursement for the fact that he was mafker his own donkey and let it go lost. Or do we say that no, really the agreement is that I'm going to go and save your donkey, and my donkey I'm not going to go and save. And so in the event that I'm not going to be able to get my donkey back, you got to pay me for the fact that I endeavored to first try to save your donkey, and not care about what happened to my donkey.
The fact that he didn't want to save his donkey doesn't mean that he was Hefker it.
That's the second side. The second side says that whether it's regarded as that he was mafkir or not, but I would say, rather than say that you say, I would say that even though he was mafkir the donkey, but the reason, but the whole agreement was that based upon the fact that he was mafkir the donkey, and he's not going to get it back. That's what the guy is paying him for. But if he does get it back, so then why should the guy pay him?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was mafkir or not, who cares? The point of the deal was is that I'm going to save your donkey, and my donkey I'm not going to save it. So based upon that, you gotta pay me. Oh, but if he finds this donkey, so then why should he have to pay him? It was only being paid because he's going to lose his donkey, but he didn't lose it at the end of the day. Oh, so if he didn't lose it at the end of the day, so he doesn't have to pay. Or do we say, well, but technically speaking, he was mafkir his donkey, and that's what the and that was already obligating the other guy to pay him for his donkey. The fact that he ended up finding it and retrieving it is irrelevant. That was his mazel. That was his mazel. But that has nothing to do with the agreement that they made. The agreement was you're going to pay me for my donkey because I'm gonna save your donkey, and I'm gonna essentially be mafkir my own donkey, and you have to pay me for the fact that I'm mafkir my own donkey, and I'm going to save your donkey. That
it's like and if this happens, then this has got to happen. But if this doesn't happen, then the consequence doesn't happen.
That's it. That's yeah. In other words, what was the cause for the second person to be required to reimburse him for the donkey? What was causing him to be obligated to pay him for his donkey? For the fact that he was relinquishing ownership of it, and that it's now going to be it's basically a lost cause as far as his donkey is concerned. For putting his donkey in for not going to save his own donkey, he's basically saying goodbye to the donkey. Is that the reason why the guy is required to pay him? If it is, so then he's required to pay him, even if the guy ends up finding the donkey later on. What's that have to do with it? What required him to pay for the donkey is that he was going to save the other guy's donkey and relinquishing his ownership over his own donkey. As evidenced by the fact that he was not going to try to save his own donkey, he was trying to save the other one's donkey. So if the guy went ahead and did that, so then that already obligates the other guy to have to pay him for his donkey. Or do we say no? The whole thing that requires him to pay for the donkey is if the guy doesn't get his donkey back. That's what they meant. And since he got his donkey back, so then what reason is there for the other guy to have to pay him anything for his donkey?
We have to have a look at the rule that governs Hefker. Did we review that? Because we might find, I don't know what it is, but we might find that you have to be more definite about Hefker than this story shows. For it to be
that's what I'm saying. I don't think that it really, even according to the second side, even if we say that he was mafkir the animal, so what? It was a full hefker. So what? But at the end of the day, he got his donkey back. What was the reason that the other guy is paying for his donkey? Not because he wanted to make it, not because he's making it hefker, but because he's not going to get his donkey back. Whether Hefker is Hefker or not, it makes no difference.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Hefker is Hefker, but he got his donkey back. So why should he have to pay for it? It's not a question of analyzing what hefker means.
Mhm. So the Hefker business is unimportant.
Well, the hefker that's the first side that says that the reason why he doesn't, we're trying to figure out why is it that he does have to pay him back? Because he got his donkey. Why should he have to pay him? Why should he have to pay him? He got his donkey.
Mm-hmm.
No reason that he said you got to pay me for my donkey because it was going to be lost to him. Yeah, but he retrieved it. So what's the difference whether he was mafkirit and it was in fact hefker? In any case, he got it back.
So if we leave out the Hefker side of it, how does it read then? If we ignore the Hefker, we don't mention it, how does it read?
If you take out the hefker, then why should the guy have to pay him? Why should he have to pay him? He got his donkey. What's the reason that he should have to pay him?
Mm-hmm.
You have to say that the reason he has to pay him is because when he agreed to go and save his friend's donkey, he was being mafker his own donkey. He was relinquishing his ownership of the donkey, and the donkey is hefker.
Mm-hmm.
And in consideration of the fact that he made his donkey hefker, and now it's as good as lost, so then it's not his anymore, and that's what requires the other guy to pay him. Because if you look at the fact that he got his donkey back, so why should he have to pay him? Why should he have to pay him? He got his donkey back. Why should he have to pay him? The only way you can explain why he has to pay him, even though he got his donkey back, is because that he's got to pay him because he agreed to go and save the other guy's donkey. He was relinquishing his ownership over his own donkey. And that relinquishing of his ownership of his own donkey was what requires the other guy to have to pay him for that donkey that he relinquished ownership of.
If you relinquish ownership, doesn't mean it's not yours. You don't have responsibility over it. I don't know. Thinking,
relinquishing ownership means that it is no longer yours. It's lost. It's avud. It's gone.
It's no longer yours. It doesn't mean that you have no connection with it.
Yes, it does. That's what hefker means. In other words, like this: if somebody else would have found that donkey that he was mafkir, who would own that donkey? Could he say, "Oh, that's my donkey"? The other guys would say, "No, it's my donkey. Sorry." Who's right? He goes to the Bezdin. Who's the Bezdin going to award the donkey to?
Mm-hmm.
The finder. He's got a mitzvah of Shabbos Aveda. Yeah, but this is not a mitzvah of Shabbos Aveda. No, it's not. It's avud means that he doesn't have any ownership of it over anymore. If somebody else finds it, so they are the ones that are going to be zocha mina hefker. They're the ones to say, "Oh, I acquired a donkey from hefker."
How would I know it was Hefker?
They got 3 million witnesses that say so.
I mean, you know. Well, okay, I'm not so sure. Anyway,
I see.
I think our time is up.
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
That's why on Erev Pesach, when Erev Pesach is the year of beer maestris, that people go and they take out their barrel of wine and they put it in the street and they say hefker, because you got to be mafkir before the Zman beer, and then they got to be very careful to bring it back before somebody takes it, because it's really Hefker. It doesn't belong to them anymore.
Just because you put
In
something
other words,
in the
Hefker really
street,
works.
yeah, but
That's
they-
what you have to understand. Hefker really works. It really makes the thing ownerless.
right,
It doesn't belong to you anymore.
yeah.
That's the story with Hefker. It doesn't belong to you anymore.
So as soon as I put something out on the street and I intend to come back for it, it's Hefka
Yes.
automatically.
We don't have time to go into it right now, but he wants to make it Hefker because he doesn't want to be in violation of this man of beer. He can't have any shvius in his possession already into this man of beer. It's just an example, an everyday example where we find that somebody would want to make something Hefker. Generally, people don't want to make their items that they own Hefker. But over there, he does want to do so. So it is actually Hefker. Okay.
If I say this is not Hefka, is that going to work? And I leave it there for a day because I'm going to, and I'm cleaning out my house. I need the
No,
room.
if you don't have intention to make it Hefker, so it's not.
Okay. So did this donkey only?
But see, you have to understand. Rashi didn't say that. Rashi did not say that the second half of the question is that he didn't really make it Hefker. That's not what Rashi said. What did Rashi say? Since it came up, it came up. Meaning, in spite of the fact that he made it Hefker, it came up. So what did it came up? So the whole deal is off. The whole deal is off. The whole deal was as if based upon whether he's going to actually not be able to get his donkey back, not based upon whether it was Hefker. Second side, Rashi doesn't say that the Hefker doesn't work over here. It was an insincere Hefker. Doesn't work. He really always owned the animal. That's not what Rashi says.
Okay, I've got to go to sleep now. No, I don't.
Right.
No, now you got to go and look in the art scroll and see what the art scroll, how it explains it.
No, I've got to go and make lunch.
Thank you, Rabbi. Have a good day.
Okay.
Okay.
The best.